Hi everyone, my name is Alexandra Mattison, and today we're going to be discussing the behind the scenes for James and the Shark. Okay, so a little bit of background. Prior to my trip last year down to Cape Town, and more specifically Gans Bay, I had to go and see two surgeons. So the reason why is because when I was really, really young, I was roughly 6 years old. A little girl screamed in my ear, blew my eardrum, and I've had to have three tympanomastoidectomies in my life because of the damage that was caused to my ear or the inner ear. And basically on this trip, I not only wanted to go see whales and sharks, I also wanted to learn how to free dive. But I thought I needed to get the all clear from my surgeons, and they said no. I was quite upset because I really did want to learn how to free dive. I thought it would be something really cool for me to do. But instead, we figured out a plan, and I went on 2 snorkeling adventures with Cape Town Freediving. So it wasn't a complete loss. I still got to experience the ocean in that way. But anyway, so back to it. So obviously, I know that there's something wrong with my ear. And it's one of those things where I could have a really bad experience being on a boat. But I did it, and I kind of hoped for the best. But yeah, it didn't go so well, I'm not gonna lie. Especially since I was already feeling not so well on the whale watching the day before. And then going on the shark cage diving, the boat was a little bit smaller. It also was anchored for quite a long time, so we weren't moving, because when the boat started moving again, I would be fine. But then as soon as it stopped and it's doing it was not good for me at all. And yeah, but I got in the water, did my best to film as much as I could. I think I also had a problem where I'm quite a tiny person to stay under the water and film and do everything and actually take in the whole experience. It did get a little bit much for me at times, but I did it, and I'm glad I've done it, and I can tick it off my list. And I survived to tell the tale, even though I was really ill. I'm not gonna lie, it was bad. It was really bad. I still kind of feel a little bit embarrassed, but it is what it is, and yeah, chalk it up to life experience, right? Yeah. So, yeah, and we basically got to see the copper shark or bronze whaler shark out in Gans Bay. At the time, they hadn't seen great white sharks for about 4 months, and that was because of the orcas or killer whales that were swimming around. They had killed quite a few great white sharks, which then obviously they just left the area. Yeah, and I actually posted a bit of a story on this where I think it was someone from the University of Cape Town. They did a whole write-up on how the orcas have been affecting the sharks around the Western Cape, or off the coast of the Western Cape. Very, very, very interesting article. Yeah, so what else can I tell you? Yeah, and I just basically did this whole experience with Marine Dynamics down in Gans Bay, and like I said in Russell and the Whale, I specifically chose this cause, this organization to go and do this with because they have a volunteer program, research programs. They're very much into the marine conservation side of things and not just a tourist based company. The funds obviously raised from the tourists coming and watching the whales, like going on the Big Five, Marine Big Five tour and going on the shark cage diving. That all goes back into funding their research and their programs and all of that sort of thing. So I knew that I was supporting a good company and a good cause. And yeah, it was just very interesting to meet them and to go through this whole experience. But I think the funny thing was, like, I was just so ill from the shark cage diving, and then I had to drive 2 hours to Cape Town because so I basically just stayed in Hermanus while I was doing these whale watching and shark cage diving. And then I was then going through to Cape Town because I was then going to go hike in Cape Point and then do the snorkeling with Cape Town freediving, which is based in Muizenberg. Oh, it was, guys, it was such an experience. I could barely eat for like 4 days after that. I know it's not really that funny, but looking back, like, yeah. Once I get that motion sickness, it stays with me for a good couple days. But anyway, I survived. Okay, let's go into the behind the scenes. So I wrote this book fourth. I had to think about that. Fourth, because I wrote it after Logan and the Fox. And the person that I obviously had in mind with this book was James Glancy, because of all of his work and conservation work with regards to sharks and raising awareness for sharks. And I think also for me, writing this book was important, and going on the shark cage diving and all of that was so important for me because I actually had a fear of sharks. I grew up at the coast, Port Elizabeth, and I used to do nippers. So that's like junior lifeguarding, I guess if you could put it that way. So I was learning how to be a lifeguard. And we would swim out in the ocean every Sunday. But the thing about PE is that the water is quite murky. You can't see the bottom. You could be swimming with a whole bunch of sea life and you wouldn't even know. So that did kind of freak me out quite a bit. But, you know, you're out there with friends, so you kind of like, I should be fine. You know, and also lots of people have swum off of Summerstrand and nothing really happened to them, so you know, hope for the best. But yeah, so it was something that I always kind of had this fear of sharks, and I wanted to kind of overcome that and just build more a healthy respect for them. Yeah, so that's basically why I did it. So I don't actually know when I illustrated this book, but I know for me another bit of a fear are those giant octopus. So that's kind of where I started. This was like the unknown in the ocean. So it's not just about sharks, it's like these giant octopus that could just like eat you alive. I don't know. My brain is very creative. Yeah. So it's quite cool. Like drawing the kelp forest, or attempting to draw the kelp forest, and then actually experiencing it. It was so amazing. Like, if you ever in Cape Town and you don't know what you want to do, or you got some extra time, or you got a morning off, definitely go check out Cape Town freediving. It was a magical experience. Honestly, it was seeing the ocean in a different way. Like, I've never swum through or snorkeled through a kelp forest before, and yeah, it was just really, really amazing just to get back in touch with the ocean. Last year I attended online I think they're called Finisterre. They had the Sea Change ocean activist like online course thing that they did, and they were actually talking a lot about how being near the ocean or swimming in the ocean, even just seeing the ocean, how it actually affects us, like how it can actually heal us. Like, it is so amazing, the effects that the ocean has on us. So definitely, if you're ever in Cape Town, please go check them out. It was just an amazing experience. I'm so glad that I did it. And then, if anyone's wondering what Planet SOS is, James Glancy started his Planet SOS channel on Mail Plus in the UK during lockdown in 2020. And that's what that is. Yeah, so also go check out Sea Shepherd and their website and what they're up to. They're still very active with regards to protecting our oceans, especially from IUU fishing. And that's where a lot of our sharks are being caught as bycatch, as well as for the shark finning trade. So definitely go check them out and support them if you're able to. And I hope that you get your chance to reconnect with the ocean, reconnect with yourself, and overcome your fears. Like, that's my challenge. If you have something that you are afraid of, take some steps towards overcoming it. It is so kind of life-changing. Like, it was something where I just feel really proud of myself that I actually did it. So it was like the fear of the motion sickness, because I knew it was going to happen, more than likely, but didn't realize how bad it was going to be. And then, the shark cage diving, like, it was, if you can, definitely, it's something, do it for yourself. Yeah. Cool. Thank you, guys. And I hope that you've been enjoying the posts that I've been putting out with regards to sharks and my book. And yeah,